Hey everyone, this week I'm going to be running a grid draft of my budget cube. For those of you who are not familiar with this cube, it features cards from Innistrad Block forward, which is around the time that my friends and I all started playing. We're going to be using Cube Cobra's grid draft feature to run this draft. For those of you who might not be familiar with a grid draft, it's a two-player format and you often use 18 packs of 9 cards. The cards are laid out in a grid. Players can choose either a row or a column to draft into their pool. In this first pack, I considered the middle row, which contained Lightning Strike, Elvish Mystic, and Rishkar. However, I really like Bastion of Remembrance, and Brain Maggot is a solid duress, so I'm going to take that row. As you can see in this pack, the bot that is drafting with me drafted first, and they took the middle row. In this pack, with my remaining options, I have lots of red cards. I'm going to take this top row, as Alesha Who Smiles Death could be good for recursion for Bastion of Remembrance, as well as Vampire Nighthawk being a very solid creature. In this third pack, I do like the row with Divest and Elspeth's Nightmare, but ultimately I really want this Canyon Slough down at the bottom, so I'm going to take the middle column. I really can't go wrong here with lots of black and red cards left in this pack, so I'm going to go with the biggest bang for my buck, which is this third column. There's not a ton here that excites me outside of this triome, so I'm just going to take the column that gives me the most red cards. I'll take this bottom row for the Heir of Falconwrath, but nothing else. In our seventh pack, the first column has Knight of Ebon Legion and Zealous Conscript, so I'm happy to take that one. I'm not thrilled about any of these cards, so I'll take the incomplete row with Mobilized District. Though Grey Merchant of Asphodel may be a great card for our deck, I've already got tons of 5-drops, and I could really use this Agonizing Remorse and this Judith. Eternal Taskmaster and this Ultimate Price are really good in our deck. This top row features Pia, Nalar, and Woestrider, which both create tokens and are both great in a Bastion of Remembrance deck. I'm going to take this top row if only for the Bone Crusher Giant. Here the third column features a sweeper as well as 2 great value creatures, so I'm really happy to see this. I'm going to take this middle row just for the Gutter Bones. With 3 packs to go, this is really not what I want to see. I'm going to take this bottom row because I can play the Connive half of Connive Concoct. Both Outpost Siege and Murderous Rider will fit into our deck. Null Priest of Oblivion is a newer card that I'm very excited about. For our final pack, all I have left is the Chandra's Pyrohelix, so I'll take that. Here is our final configuration. We are a real low to the ground deck that's based on creatures dying, particularly our own creatures. We obviously have Bastion of Remembrance and Judith, which take advantage of our own creatures dying, as well as things like Eternal Taskmaster, Woestrider, and Alesha, which can bring things back from the graveyard really consistently. We also have Massacre Girl and Languish, which can wipe out both our own creatures and our opponent's creatures, and obviously the asymmetry of things like Bastion of Remembrance and Judith drastically tilt those effects in our favor, as well as a host of value cards just like Brain Maggot, Murderous Rider, and Outpost Siege. So I'm really happy with how this draft came together. I just wanted to mention a few of the cards that I ended up cutting from our main board. I ended up cutting Crux of Fate because we didn't need the second sweeper. I ended up cutting Glorybringer because it posed the least synergy out of our existing 5-drops and where you were already pretty low to the ground. And I cut things like Boros Reckoner and the Connive Concoct because they were mana intensive and a little bit clunky in this deck. So thanks for checking it out, and we'll catch you next time.